ex-husband wants our daughter to call his affair partner mommy because she feels guilty about destroying our family. My ex-husband Keith left me for his coworker Denise when our daughter Rosie was 2 years old. He didn't fight for custody. He didn't ask for visitation. He signed away everything just to avoid paying child support, and I let him because I wanted him gone. For 4 years, Rosie grew up without her father. She asked about him constantly. I showed her pictures and told her daddy lived far away for work. I couldn't bring myself to tell a 4-year-old that her father chose another woman over her, but she figured it out anyway. Kids always do. Does daddy have a new family now? She asked me once. I didn't answer, and she never brought it up again. Then out of nowhere, Keith started calling. At first I ignored him. Then he started texting, asking about Rosie, wanting pictures, wanting updates. When I asked him why the sudden interest, he dodged every question. I got suspicious and refused to engage. He threatened legal action to get visitation rights. The audacity of a man who signed away his daughter now demanding to see her made me furious. I told him to go through the courts. He actually did. The judge granted him supervised visits, but he rejected them. He wanted unsupervised time alone with her, and when he couldn't have that, he disappeared again. 3 months later, he called asking if Rosie could spend Christmas Eve at his house. I should have said no, but Rosie had overheard me say her father's name and started bouncing around the room. Daddy wants to see me. Can I go, mommy? Please? I made Keith promise he would focus entirely on her. No distractions. No drama, just father-daughter time. He swore on his mother's life. I wish I hadn't believed him. The moment we walked into their house, something felt wrong. Denise practically sprinted at Rosie and scooped her up before I could react. Oh my sweet girl, I've missed you so much, she kept saying, even though she'd never met my daughter. Rosie looked confused and reached for me. I took her back and told Denise she was being too intense. Denise apologized but kept hovering. Every time Rosie said something, Denise responded before Keith could. Every time Rosie showed Keith a drawing, Denise inserted herself into the moment. Keith just sat there watching. Then I heard it. Rosie asked Denise where the bathroom was, and Denise said, "Of course, sweetheart. Let mommy show you." I froze. Rosie looked at me, then back at Denise, confused. "You're not my mommy," she said innocently. Denise's entire face collapsed. She looked at Rosie like my 6-year-old had just driven a knife through her chest. She ran out of the room sobbing, and Keith chased after her without even glancing at our daughter. I grabbed Rosie and headed straight for the door, but Keith caught up and blocked my path. He begged me to wait and pulled me into the kitchen, explaining that Denise had been struggling badly since they got married. She felt crushing guilt about how our family fell apart and convinced herself that she'd ruined Rosie's life. Her therapist had suggested that bonding with Rosie might help her finally heal from the shame. She just needs to feel like a mother figure, Keith said. If Rosie calls her mommy and shows her some warmth, it'll prove Rosie doesn't hate her. It'll help Denise let go of all this guilt. I stared at him. "You want our 6-year-old daughter to emotionally comfort the woman who destroyed her family so that woman can feel better about herself?" He sighed like I was being difficult. "Denise cries herself to sleep thinking about what we did to Rosie. If Rosie just shows her some love and acceptance, she can finally move past this." So Denise helped destroy my marriage, walked away from any responsibility for 4 years, and now that she has to live with what she did, her solution is to have a 6-year-old tell her it's okay? Keith shook his head. "You're twisting everything. She's really hurting. She wants my daughter to do the emotional labor she's too fragile to do herself." I interrupted. "Rosie is not an absolution machine. She's not here to help a grown woman escape the consequences of her own choices." I picked up Rosie and walked toward the door. Keith followed, insisting I was heartless, that I couldn't understand what guilt does to a person. I turned back. I understand guilt. I feel it every day that I couldn't give Rosie a father who put her first. The difference is I would never ask her to fix that for me.